everyone again, or anyone who cares anymore. Today I'm going to be looking at an Overwatch Vod review for Fcapulong. I'm not 100% sure how to say that. It's 2 videos. This first one he sent me was a massive win, so I thought, we should get at least a closer game. So the second one is a closer game, but it's still a win. And he is on a team, so this is a team that's going to be playing in. They're going to be playing in a tournament. Even though I will be focusing on you, I might say something that you as a team should be doing, just to, I've coached teams before, and these are just little advice that you might want to pass on to your team. So it's all Moira. So let's take a look and let's get started. So let's wait for your last guy to pick.
Yeah.
It's going to be your off healer. Sigma, Rissa is super meta, and so is Sim.
So question,
Reaper, Moira, and what, Lucio, I assume? Yeah.
Question, are we gonna,
So yeah, this is meta, though with silver, golds, and plats. I don't care too much about meta. Like, you guys should definitely be playing to more just your strengths in general than being meta slaves. I think you'll win more games playing heroes you know how to play than playing meta. Not that maybe those are heroes you know how to play is the meta, and then you could do it. You might be able to do amazing. So I don't know. Just a little tip that at this low rank, meta is crap. I mean, meta's crap almost all the way up into GM. Like, it doesn't really matter unless you're a pro. So let's continue on.
We are gonna engage with no, yeah, just put the shield down, teleport, and then engage.
Put the shield down, teleport, engage.
We should go right side.
Yeah, go right side.
Just like teleport then.
So you guys are like using these 30 seconds to discuss your plans, which it sounds like you didn't do beforehand. If you are a team and you're about to play in a tournament, you should know what you're going to do on each map, what heroes you're going to pick, and what your initial strategy is. Now, if the enemy team does something, you might need to change it up and you need to maybe make it up on the fly. But to start off, you guys should know what you're doing. You shouldn't have to have these discussions of, we're doing this, we're going to do teleporter, we're going to do this, do you want to do this, do you want to do that? It should be, those discussions should be had in your Discord weeks in advance before anything. So, I mean, this is comp, so you haven't actually had tournaments, so this isn't the tournament, so it's good. But you guys should know before you get into a game what you want to do, what you want to try and everything. Even like in these practices, you should have a goal of a practice thing you want to do. Like, we're going to play this comp and we're going to do it over and over. It doesn't matter if we win or lose, because we're trying to figure out how to play this comp together. If these discussions happen in the tournament, something has gone wrong. You should know on each map where you're going to start, how you're going to start.
Put shield again, right?
Yeah, so you have to put shield.
Push shield.
Basically, Sig's shield should be the only one down initially, and then you can place your shield down.
Do you understand hockey?
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
Hockey, no shield until we get there.
Until you get there, then you turn around.
Let's go.
No shield.
Oh, they have a junk?
Oh,
Oh shit.
ow.
Alright, put mine up.
Can you push up a little more?
Nope. Go now. Hockey put yours. Hockey put yours.
Don't really like that damage orb. So it comes to orb, especially with like this much spam damage coming through, you could see like instantly your sim got hurt. You're definitely going to want to be saving it for a heal orb, because there's going to be massive damage with Junkrat and all this spam, and your team trying to set up a play. You getting ult charge isn't as important as you making sure people don't die before you guys can get the play off.
Ooh, first place win. Let's go.
Can we get teleport in here?
Down.
Destroyed.
Yeah, and then like, I mean, that's just not paying attention in the sense that, one, that orb didn't heal anyone. Even if people stayed here, it might have not done anything because no one was damaged, but also your team was moving away from this position. How much were you in this discussion? So I don't really know your voice. Let's see how much you talk in this.
Oh,
shit.
ow.
Alright, put mine up.
Yeah, I figured because you're talking.
Can you push up a little more?
Nope. Going down. I can put yours. I can put yours.
Ooh, first place win. Let's go.
Can we get teleport in here?
Down.
Destroyed.
Yeah,
Go, 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 go.
and so like I don't think you can go in, fade and go through teleporter, and you need to be stacked up when you do teleporter things like that because. So when people are calling teleporter, you need to be right up against your tanks and everything and be ready to go. Like everyone needs to teleport almost all at once. So you need to really stack up when you do these types of plays. Now that you aren't with your team, you've used your fade, you have no anything, you should be looking to kind of just back off a little bit. Tell them you didn't make teleporter. Be like, guys, I didn't make teleporter. Your main healer, no main healer. And you kind of have to wait for the enemy team to get distracted with point for you to kind of like sneak back in.
Shield up
I'm
behind,
out,
shield
I'm out,
behind,
I'm
shield
out.
behind.
Yeah. So,
I got focused.
yeah, so like, I wouldn't have peeked at all because you had 66 health. And they were probably all still kind of like right here.
Focused right away. I got
They're all up. They're all up. They're all up. Oh, McCree.
Oh, I got that.
I didn't make it in. I didn't make it in.
Yeah.
Oh, you might just kill yourself. Just kill yourself. See, that's why Maywall would have worked right there.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all good. You can front door now.
A front door and
What? Let's see
keep
if
us to match us because you have the walls up coming up.
they're not at front door. The only person here is McCree. Oh, no.
They're-
Or if we distract them on the point and you try to do it again.
They're not on point. They're back.
4 seconds till reset.
How did you aim?
Go.
You just kind of threw that orb.
Try to.
Not against it because your team's still kind of regrouping. Your sim is to come back, but where do you
What? Let's see if
expect the enemy team to be?
You have the walls up coming up.
And how are you
they're
aiming?
not at front door.
So
The only person here is
you see
McCree.
the signal,
Or if we
but you
distract.
throw, and I think your aim is on that door. Like,
You have the
let's see if
walls
we
up coming
can
up.
slow it down a
They're
bit.
not at front door. The only person here is McCree. Oh, no.
It's hard to see,
Or if
but like I think it's going.
we
You aim
distract
to this
them
open
on
door,
the
yeah,
point
and it's
try
just
to
gone.
do it again.
So you need to aim your orbs so that where they bounce will go into the enemy team if you're using damage orbs, or into your team if you're using heal orbs.
They're on point. They're back.
4 seconds till reset. Go.
They're here. Why? I mean,
Okay, you could have used teleporter, so you You used fade, a movement ability, your escape ability, to get over when teleporter was fine, and then you used damage orb, which I don't know if that was what kind of reaction that is, but you're kind of using it almost all cooldown.
They're not on point. They're back.
4 seconds till reset. Go.
Teleporter.
they're here. Why? I
Yeah,
mean,
off cooldown basically.
Anna behind.
Like
Oh,
there's
damn.
Got two picks.
no enemies that you could really see. Like, where's the enemies? You just throw it in there, so there's no enemy that you're throwing it at. But I see criticals. Like, if it was a heal orb, I'd be like, okay, could have aimed it a little bit over there, but obviously you do damage, so you just threw it. So I don't know why you didn't take teleporter, to be honest, and decide to use your movement ability. You really don't want to use this at all. You want to be forced to use this, and then it's your escape.
Anna behind.
Because now, like, you're getting damaged and still 4 seconds for your cooldown and your escape. You could have both right now, and you would not be in this much danger. You could easily throw a heal orb to heal yourself, or fade to escape this damage.
I don't see him.
Got two picks. Versus dead.
So yeah.
Six.
So, like,
Junkrat.
So this Junkrat grenade is this is unlucky. Like, these things happen, but because of your use of abilities with using damage orb instead of saving it for heal orb, and using your movement instead of using the teleporter, resulted in you taking too much damage, and then getting one unlucky bounce from a grenade kills you. So it's kind of like those things that, at the time, using it, you did escape from that damage, but didn't get healed up enough to get from an unlucky bounce.
Right side. And the heals. Thank you.
Shit. Got it. Six dead.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm gonna push up.
Push.
How the fuck did I get saved for that? I'll catch up in a minute, guys. Wait, we gotta wait for Moira anyways. We gotta wait for Moira.
I'm here.
Top right.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that they're looking out for you, but you should also be saying, I got bad spawn. Like, you need to be saying, every time you get a bad spawn, I got bad spawn.
The overhang?
Yep, I can get the teleport on the overhang.
No, they're set up top right.
Look at pushing them.
They're expecting it.
I have ult, guys.
Shield's broken. Their shield's broken.
Watch this.
Work their shield. The death ball is shit.
Pull back.
There's a purple.
No,
There's purple.
That's good.
Pull back. Nice, huge.
So yeah, like to say, you're purple, I can't heal you. You know, letting people know when you
Dropping
can't
you.
heal is big. Like, that's, Moira is damage and healing. Like, she doesn't have much. And her movement. When you can't heal for whatever reason, they're purple, they're behind shields, you're bad spawn, you have no resource, you need to call that out. You need to let your team know that they're not going to get healing for a while. It's just a good communication tool.
Teleport's down.
Oh, Jamie did it again.
They wasted their six.
Nice.
Torb.
Heals. Oh.
Card one.
You have full heal. You're full up. Like,
Is that reset?
No.
your team went from winning this fight. Like, you're focused healing now, and then
Nice.
Torb.
so, and then you just decide I need to DPS. Like, you have over half. They have no main healer, so you can just slowly out heal them. I don't know if you would have been able to get that Reaper. I mean, even if you were looking to heal. But your Orisa dies, and that's definitely someone you should have been able to be paying attention to. And you're still just doing damage. But do you just see like critical hits? Or...
Is that reset?
No.
Let's see, so here,
We still got this.
critical,
You guys got it.
and your Sigma dies. So this is definitely focusing too much on DPS and no healing. Like, you just, after your ult, you're like, I'm done. I'm done healing. It's time for me to tickle a Torp for a little while, and then his turret. Do you have, I guess you might have like PTSD from Torbs or something like that, because like you really wanted to get rid of all of that and did not want it anymore. As a healer and the main healer, your job is to make sure your team is alive. Yeah, your team can do things that you just can't do anything about. But here, your team's on point. They're fighting. They're a little spread out. You know, Orisa's on the left. Your Reaper is up front. And your Sigma's over on the right over here. Like, you know, Sigma, Orisa, Reaper. So for Moira, it's not great in the sense that you want them all grouped up so you can heal them all at once. But you didn't even focus one person, let alone trying to balance all of them. So even if you just kept like your Orisa alive to that damage, and when then they focused your Sigma, move over to him and heal him, you probably win this fight. I mean, like, they're coming back. They have spawn advantage. You need to keep your team alive during these types of things.
I'm pushing in.
Alright, we have numbers, yeah.
Fuse. Good job.
I'm still on. There's 6-1. There's
Hit
6-1.
Sig. Hitting the Zen. Torb. Orisa. I'm getting turret. Turret's dead.
And then heals. Oh.
I'm dead. Nice, you're there.
6.
Great.
Let's go.
Let me hit Sig's toes.
That's
All your toes belong to us.
Now we can play May.
Now we can play May.
Game's
Very
good.
well.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
341. Awesome. Good time.
So, like, what I'm seeing is not managing your abilities very well.
We've got this one.
And
Hopefully.
that last part, you went super
We
DPS
should have
when
this
you're
in the
the
back.
main healer.
Funny, they're all gold and 1 plat, and then we're 2 plat.
Like, one of the things I see a lot at lower ranks
No, 2
is
plats.
not
No,
letting
you're
people
Yeah,
do their job
Mika
and
Plus
trying
one
to do
gold, 2
every
silver.
job.
Got Mika
So like
here.
DPS
Don't forget
will
about
stand.
Mika.
I forgot that I was plat.
So like
sorry.
DPS will try to be the tank as well and be like super far forward, and the healers will try to do damage when they're supposed to be healing. It's everyone has a role to play. That's why like Rollock came out and tried to like force it even more. Is that tanks tank, DPS do damage, and healers heal. Like, and that's a very simplistic view, and like obviously there's exceptions to everything. That's a good way to start the thought process. Is there someone I need to heal as a healer? Is there something I need to tank? Is there damage I need to block as a tank? Is there someone I need to kill or shoot at as a DPS? Like, those are like where you start your thought process, and then you can start weaving in damage as a healer or a tank. Or a lot of people at lower ranks try to do everything. They're like, so those are the things you kind of want to think about. Is how is my team doing? Your main focus is more your team than the enemy.
What are you saying?
Nothing.
No, it's okay. I thought I forgot that I was plat, and then
Okay, it's the same color as a silver anyway, yeah?
yeah. We're just silvers, but better.
We just gotta get the diamond so it's bigger. That's all.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, I'm 40 points away from gold, so
Aki can't play this one.
Bronze is
Last
just a
one.
chevron.
Hockey. What if we all put your mom on a conference call and
We all act like it's a school official.
I will put
all you need to say-
I will put the headset on my mother, and you guys talk.
So
All you
like
need to
May,
say- all you
Reaper,
need to say is Booga
Sig-
won $3 million.
Rissa.
That's true.
No, she knows about the team. I told her about the team. She thinks it's cool.
Depends.
Alright, we need to have
So you're
Tell her-
so like
tell
in
her
things
your
like
coach is
this,
saying-
your Mercy is better at single target heals, which means she's better at healing DPS, and you're better at tank heals. So you can definitely be more focused on your tanks and let your Mercy be more focused on your DPS. Where your DPS?
Saying that you need extra.
Going?
Yeah, you should practice. You should talk to her. And,
No, look,
My
come
coach
back. Okay.
is saying I need practice because I'm ass at it.
Go on top,
Alright.
high ground right here.
comms.
That's a fine work, yeah.
They're
So, ooh.
I got melted.
I can risk, but I don't
Yeah,
know
guys.
if it's a...
Yeah,
Okay.
Your team is
Oh, I do what I can for that.
super. Like you lose that
Wait,
DPS.
heavy on the dash. I have no.
So you lose the shield war against a Bastion. They have too much damage. You have a Reaper and a May, which do like no damage to shields. So as a team, trying to push out, you not only are you trying to hold a choke, some of you're trying to like push through choke. Like this, that's why the Orisa kind of like died.
Go on
Like
top,
Alright.
high ground right here.
died.
Comms.
So like
Comms, clear.
They're dashing.
I got melted.
so. Even like at the beginning of fights on Hanamura, I don't like staying here too much. I like this corner better. To start, yeah, it's fine, I guess. But this corner is really good, even against the Bastion, because this solid wall right here. This is a solid wall. No matter how much Bastion shoots it, it will never die. So you can have a shield here as Orisa, the Sigma, and then if that breaks and you don't have your shield yet, you can use this solid wall. It does allow for them to get a little bit in, but you're going to have to kind of allow that. You have the May, so you should be wanting to bring them in, and then you wall them off. So it looks like your team is a little disconnected. That's on my first run through, that's what I thought. Kind of weird. You guys are on the spot where you want to wall when you should be baiting them in to get the wall off. And I guess the Bastion is going to be tough because he's going to set up there. Winston's a little weird, so that's the weird thing is the Winston. If he dies, he is alone, and that's who you guys should be looking to punish. But yeah, staying here is death now. Like the Bastion setup, this is death. This is if you stay here, you are dead. You guys are going for the res. It sounds like, right? I think you get it off. But you don't want to stay here. You want to retreat to like kind of point or over here-ish, because this Bastion he's gotten in position. He's gotten into the position where he makes this area a killing zone, and you don't want to be in a killing zone, especially as a healer. Now you have picked an okay spot. I don't like it because the reason why I don't like this room to hide as a healer, I like over here again where they have this thing, is because if they push hard quickly, suddenly you're cut off. Like if they move into this area, your team gets pushed back here. Let me clear this off a little bit. Your team gets pushed back here, and the enemy is here. You are screwed. And your only route of escape is a long corridor that wall suddenly becomes killing because your Mercy can't heal you. Your Mercy can't heal through a wall. So your team can't help you, and even if like 2 of them break off to chase you, you're basically dead. Now Moira has a fade, so you can get out of this predicament a little bit easier than if you were at Mercy or something, but if a better position still allows you to heal and doesn't, you know, make you have to use fade. So that's one like nitpick. So let's see what happens.
I can rest, but I don't know if it's okay.
And then like damage orb there. Why damage orb? You gonna kill anything? No, but your team is fucking dying to a Bastion. So heal orb is so necessary. You need it to survive.
Oh, I do what I can for that. They're playing heavy on the dash. I have no shield right now.
I don't have a shield either.
No, I'm dead.
Winnable.
Oh my god.
Monkey on point, monkey on point. I'm jumping on monkey.
Monkey on the queue.
Let's see.
Alright, how the hell am I gonna counter this?
Monkey's dead.
I'm gonna go Hanzo.
Back to right, back to right.
Better now.
Put it.
Like this whole corridor this Bastion has is just death. It's death. And you guys just stood in there and waited for him to kill you. You need to rotate and not be in his killing field. That's not point. This is point. So them winning this choke, yeah, it sucks. This is your best. Oops, this is your best shot to win. Like this choke gives you the best shot. But if they've won it, it's better to cede ground, stay alive, than to fight another day. So basically, you lost first
They wasted application.
because you guys refused to
Are
move
they not on point yet?
from the killing field.
Oh.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I got
Okay.
slept.
Fall back.
It's not much to tell about you
What do we
except
do here? How do we
use
counter
of your damage orb when you definitely need to save heal
Sim,
orb.
or not Sim,
And then-
Sombra.
Doomfist?
I mean,
Doomfist,
your heal
Sombra.
use, I think I'll talk a little bit more on the other
I
video.
think Hanzo, because then I can get more burst damage off the side.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's try it out. We have
I'll
five
take-
minutes.
I'm gonna
I
flip
don't think
around
it's
this
gonna
way.
make it. Yeah. Why wouldn't you just
As
throw
long
it
as
out here?
As long as they
But
can't set up, we're good.
even all that, let's just like, so one, you have ult, so why are you throwing a damage orb? But two, that angle, they're going to be away from there by the time your orb travels there. Your orb has travel time, so you need to take that into consideration. And it would have just kind of like tickled some people anyway. You probably could have found way better uses of orb. Now
Left, top
you're
left.
gonna get it back before the fight happens, so I'm not
High run.
too upset. Just that it could be done better. You don't need to because you have this, so all you're doing is charging their support ults. That's the biggest probably mistake if you do land damage. Luckily, your two mistakes cancel out in the sense that you throw into a spot that no one is, so they don't have support ult to give.
What map are you guys on?
Anymore.
Animal.
Bastion on defense?
Offense.
On offense.
They're playing offense.
Reaper, I can move you and you heal yourself with
Yep.
Bastion, have your hand shield. Bastion, have your hand shield. Ah, fuck.
Lantern,
Lamp,
lantern,
lamp,
lantern,
lamp.
lantern.
Nice.
Down. I have no shield, no shield. 2, 1.
Nice. Push on that, push on that.
Yeah, push on that. There's only. Thank
Hog.
you.
I don't think your ult is necessary.
Sorry, I just wanted to...
You know, I can see it's alright. Like, Dragon's definitely not necessary, but you kill a healer and you kill their main DPS. You do lose your DPS, but you have spawn advantage. Like, you use it immediately when no one's like low or anything. I would have saved it just in case, and used it just in case someone got like one of your tanks got really hit hard and you needed to heal them up fast. But using it immediately tells me you're just like, I'm gonna use it. You're not really thinking about what's happened or like why you're using it. So it's just, I think this is a mistake. It on the scale of mistakes of ults from Moira, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a big deal in the sense of the same wasting ults, so you don't have it for next fight.
Sorry, I just wanted to zone them out.
Okay, we have 2 ults coming up. 2 ults coming up.
We just burned 3 ults on that one, guys.
Ah,
fine, we have 3
shit.
ults
Sorry
coming
about that. We have 3 ults
No,
coming
it's
up,
fine.
so we're
We have
okay.
3 ults.
I think when that happens, we just gotta push toward where the Bastion is.
Are we staying top left or where are we going?
We'll see where they're at.
And I'm just trying to get some
You know, like, you could have done that. Oh, dang. That's fine.
Go
Well,
top left
when you
again.
get it back,
I almost have my
you
whole
got
ult
tons
back.
of damage. You got ult charge because
Nice.
you already used your ult. Yeah, you can also give them support ults charge, but you know, it's kind of like a trade.
Using my ult here.
You tend to use your,
would've killed all
I
of
just
them.
kind of like
I'm not-
right now point out, you tend to use your heal okay. I mean, you're never gonna heal that guy. So like, besides that, I mean, like, amount you use seems to be okay. You could probably cut it a little bit in the sense spritz even better, but I think you generally know you need a spritz and it has a heal over time. I think you know that, and so I think, you know, to just point on something I think you do good is that I think you're pretty good at conserving it. Better than silver, but like these things, obviously, like, you're never going to do that. So I think you're ambitious too, like, and I say that, I mean, like, as a nicer way to say, like, what the hell are you thinking? You're never going to heal that guy.
Not for that.
And then, yeah, and he's back. Like, people like that, Reapers, Genjis, Tracers, when they go off on a flank, or when they go out and do a mission, you say, okay, good luck. Come back to me if you need heals. You don't do something, you don't throw your orbs at them unless it's like end of game type situations. Like, you don't throw your heal orb after them. You don't spray a wall hoping it heals them. Like, you pay attention to your team that's still with you, and if he comes back to you, you heal him up. That's how the interaction needs to go. You've wasted resources here, and you know, like, that's unfortunate for him. He almost made it back, but that wouldn't have been any of your fault. You know, he stayed his welcome. He went too far, so his fade never ended when it came back, or your tanks didn't push up a little bit. But this isn't healer fault. Like, him dying here isn't healer fault. So chasing him, wasting resources, like, you could be at full, which, you know, you're pretty close to, but you know what I'm saying? You could be at full right now because you've wasted it, and you could have your orb, and now you're down 1. You don't have your orb. You don't have full health, and they could push.
I thought I was behind the shield. Thank you.
I have accretion.
No!
Bongos, they got bongos.
They got bongos. Kill the bongos.
I don't see how you're gonna do that.
Go, go, come on, go, fine.
Drop.
Dead. Fall back.
Fine.
They wasted all. They wasted
How the hell did you use all that healing? Let's try to look this
Thank you.
again.
I have accretion.
No!
So they use these to resist, and then they call out.
Bongos, they got bongos.
Yeah, they got the bongos. Okay.
They got bongos. Kill the
So
bongos.
bongos are number 1 priority. If bongos are in a spot you can get, there's no way your team can push out into the bongos to kill it. The best thing to do is fall back, and then, like, yeah, you throw damage. I'm pointing with my finger. You throw damage orb when this guy is like, I am going to die. So you really need to stop doing damage orbs. I would restrict my damage orbs if I were you to start of the game. I can't write with this thing. but at the start of the game, in between fights, like, or at the start, like, the fight isn't about to start. It's like the enemy team is walking and getting ready to set up to start a fight. So that's where I would limit your damage orbs. And then once you get used to that, start weaving in maybe damage orbs that are killing blows. Because right now you're just throwing damage orbs when you clearly need to be throwing heal orbs / healing. Your Sigma, it gets really low.
Oh, good. How are you doing, Mike?
Drop.
Fall back.
Fine.
They wasted ult.
I'm almost on my.
Yeah. So, another way to negate bongos, which I was going to say, is line of sight. So if you retreat back, like if they put bongos, it's too far for you to go back. Your team should call for retreat, which they finally did, but after like 3 people had died. And then suddenly, if they want to shoot at you, the places they can shoot you from are not in line of sight of the bongo, and so they don't get any of that damage, and so bongos have been negated. Same thing with like Bob. Everyone's like, kill Bob, but at low ranks, Ashes who throw Bobs are very bad at placing it in a good spot, and you can just use line of sight and just move to a position where he can't see you, and then it's just wasted, and then you don't have to waste time shooting at it or healing up his damage, and you just let him exist somewhere on the map.
I'm advantage as well. X point.
Bastion setting up on top.
Like your team is down. I would not be throwing little tickly damage orbs that don't do anything. So yeah, definitely think about your damage orbs. They need to be way less.
They're split right now.
And I'm like, this tunnel vision. What are you doing? You're just kind of like you have your hand up to the sky, saying kill me. Like you are in the open. Like really think about where you are in relation to the map. Where are you in relation to the map? You are in the open, and the enemy is all on the high ground, and you have no idea how your team's doing. Do they need heals? Are they dying? Because I would have, if I was the enemy, I'd be shooting you. So the fact that you're not taking damage means your team is taking damage, and like you can die instantly from someone that's paying attention, and you're not paying attention to your team, who's probably taking tons of damage right now.
I'm set up.
I'm trying to pressure him.
Point hog.
We're purple.
Ah, shit, I'm dead again.
So what do you want to do here? Well, you don't want to be here with your hand to the sky. The rest of your team was kind of like here. Your Sigma, when we looked back, was here. Your Mercy was like here. Your DPS and Orisa were coming back from spawn when you were over here. So you definitely want to be where I would be is, so you can't see it, but that part of the map that has that wall to the point, I would be behind that thing. Just wait for the team. Like, they have this position, but they're not contesting point. They're shooting down on point, but just be here. You exist. They have to come to point. So the longer they take, the better time you have for your respawns to come back.
Almost to ult again.
Nice. I no shield.
The heals. Where's the heals?
Hug the left side.
Try to use natural cover as much as you can.
Yeah, I'm.
Stay near corners.
Corners, yeah, that's the corners.
Dashing down.
Have a creature. Have flex. Get ready to focus things in the air.
Kill that Baptiste.
Not use it.
Dead. Nice. We have 4 ults.
4 ults, that's huge.
Nice, guys. We're doing good.
Alright, guys, be careful.
Hit me with Anna here.
They used hog.
Anna, by yourself.
Stagger her hard.
Nice. Really staggered.
Alright, guys.
Good call, man.
Thank you.
They used hog. They used Orisa. They used
Bastion, but
They also used Baptiste.
Baptiste and McCree.
Yeah, so they used pretty much all their ults.
They did use Bastion?
Yeah, they did use Bastion. They also used Baptiste.
I remember the Baptiste. Oh, they comboed him.
I should probably stop poking them.
Yeah, I'm poking them too. They're going mid.
See, the
If you
first
can
damage
bait out
orb is
that
fine. Second damage
stupid
orb
trap.
is greedy. I would label it as that. It's expecting the enemy team not to push or your team to take a lot of damage. Because at that point, no one was taking any damage. 5 seconds. So in the next 5 seconds, do you expect anyone? Could happen, but like I said, it's greedy. It's a higher risk than the other one.
No shield, no shield.
If you do it for a third time, that's just, I think, stupid.
Drop it, drop it, drop it.
Yeah.
Move.
So that's
Oh
yeah,
my God.
and then like instantly when you threw damage orb, massive damage came through. You're also risking yourself by putting you in the line of sight of all the enemy. You want to be using hard cover. Relying on a Sig shield or even a Rissa shield is dangerous. Sig shield definitely, like, he's your off tank in this situation. Relying on your off tank for tanking isn't ideal, and you don't need to. There's hard cover here. There's hard, like, just even using these walls at long sights, so way over here. Or your team is favoring left, so I would stay left as well. But I would be probably using this cover to just kind of heal everyone, to have my back to it, so like I can't get shot here. If you stand like at this point, you can heal your entire team, and you can't get shot. You can't get wiped out like this.
Drop it, drop it, drop it.
Move.
I mean, that was tons of damage. So like, I'm not upset too much because the Rissa shield just got melted instantly, but you need to expect these things like massive amount of damage coming when they have a bastion. Like, you still haven't like changed your playstyle because they have a bastion. You need to be using hard cover as much as possible.
Oh my God.
Oh, get behind some shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that.
against the bastion, you basically got to play like you don't have shields. Your shields are there for a second, and then when they put BAPT ult, your shield didn't exist. Rissa put it down. It never came up.
Nice, nice red.
Immortality?
Oh my gosh.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I'm coming up with my ult, just in case. Nice, huge pick. Nice.
Bastion.
And then, like, obviously, I mean, you've probably heard aiming your orbs to bounce better. It's like, just kind of threw that out. And, like, cause, just the middle of the fight, you're like into the middle of everything, but it just kind of like rolls through
Nice, huge pick. Nice.
and bounces away. So, like, you can aim it at kind of like something right here or this wall, just like aim it, and it kind of goes back and forth. It has pretty long reach, you could see.
Just in case. Nice, huge pick. Nice.
Like, it's healing your Mercy over here, so if it just bounced off like this wall up here and just kind of like went forward and back, and it would be enough,
Nice.
But after, like, because your orb, if it heals or damages no one, will last as long as the cooldown. So you can always have an orb out technically, which you shouldn't be doing, but like, you could. So that's what you should be looking for, a bounce, that your orb, if it doesn't heal anyone or damage anyone, it stays in the area that it could do those things for as long as the cooldown. But now, like, you have 5 seconds and your orb has fucked off.
Yeah, Bastion.
So you want to be looking to keep it in the area as long as possible.
Get this Bastion. We'll stagger the hell out of him.
That's their power.
Nope, no
a
stagger.
good idea.
Pull back. Not
Go
worth
back,
it.
go back, go back.
Oh my, was
No, that was good.
very low.
I like that though. I like that was good team aggression and then team pullback. So your Hanzo needs to be coming back though even more. Like, you should be like not even looking to do damage. But it's unfortunate because he had an Ana and he can heal himself. So, but you forced out Nade. You forced out a lot of his heal resource. So it's good. No, I think that was good teamwork right there. But your Hanzo should definitely be listening to the callback retreat. He is now alone.
I'm 93%
If we get fucked.
Come back, come back.
now.
Be careful, they might have small too. They're getting that piece window pretty quick.
Don't poke unless you need the ult charge.
Hey, they probably have
They're right up top.
they're probably gonna have hog ult for sure. He's healing.
Mission. I got baited out, I'll go down.
Move, move, move. Nice. That's us.
Let's go!
Hog.
I
Hog.
got you,
You
Ray.
heal. I was anti. Focus hog,
He's
focus
dead.
hog.
Back to point, back to point.
Thank you.
I think we should have saved that res. 'cause-
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah,
feel
30 seconds,
bad.
30 seconds,
She'll get it
30
back, she'll get it
seconds.
back.
She'll get it back.
Alright.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm almost at my ult again.
Did you use high noon again?
Top left.
They use high noon, yeah.
Going top left?
I haven't seen her nano boost yet.
I have my ult.
Top left.
I have mine
Yep,
as
you're
well.
right. Top
8
left.
for the rest. 7.
I'm gonna reposition. Huge. There it is.
Whoa!
Push on, push on that. Push on that, push on that, push on that.
Focus hog, focus hog.
He's dead.
On,
that was
I mean, this is just all cleanup. Like, these last two fights have been your team having the ults to push them out.
GG.
Huge old guys. Massive old.
I'm just shocked that I was able to get Dragon Strike every.
So, let's just go on to the next one. Obviously, it was a massive win. They didn't even get second, so... But we could see a few things there. Right, so now we're going on
Reporting from
Paul.
this.
Yes.
This was a closer win.
Me too.
Well, because coaches would prefer to see a loss to see what we could have done better, right?
Yeah, that's the best we could do.
Alright, what's the play here, guys?
Beat them.
No,
No,
where's it going?
Main left, main left.
Main left, alright.
So, like,
Main left.
you guys should have your preferences already, like, established. Like you said in a tournament, like, what's the play here? Even if no one's talking, everyone should know the play. Everyone should know the play because you should have already talked about it. 3 seconds before it happens is not the time to talk about it. Now, if this is your way to figure it out, okay. You know, playing comp before the tournament. But just to let you know, like, you should have these things set before going into the game.
Yeah, they're in front of
Main
your
left.
tanks. They're in front of your tanks. Far left, drop down.
No, yes. It's far left. Let's find them over here in the corner. They're on right side. They're far right.
Switch on to healed mode. Are you fucking kidding me?
I got you.
Oh, this is fun.
So, I don't like. You want to be following your team.
No, yes.
Uh,
It's far left.
I guess maybe
Let's
you're
find 'em.
confused because they say far left, but obviously your Sigma just went down, so you should be looking going down.
Over here in the corner. They're on right side. They're far.
You know, you're the main healer. You know, you're not a Reaper or Tracer.
Right.
You should not be looking to do like these flanks.
Switch on to healed mode. Are you fucking?
Like your team is all over the place in this push right here. Your tank should be going first, not your McCree. You should be following them. You can't heal through the floor.
I got you.
Oh, this is fun.
Pull out. We lose.
Yeah, we lost this fight. We lost this fight. We
Yeah.
lost this fight.
Okay.
I'm dead.
They
we lost
cornered
this
us and killed us.
So they have a McCree, Reaper, Ryan, Roadhog.
Mika, I saved your life for about 10 seconds, and then we both got destroyed.
Oh my gosh, that hook.
I didn't
You
get enough
stunned them and
heals.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys have no heals.
We were on speed mode for too fast. For too long.
Bro, if you want to play any other tank,
You're wasting a little bit too much heal here.
Play whatever you want.
Like your
Well,
team
once I
is
can hear-
relatively okay.
So if you want to play
You
something
could be
else,
spritzing a
another
little bit
tank, go for it.
shorter. So like you can just tap the button and use very little and it will heal them over time. So right now you're used about almost half of it and you're going into the fight now. You really don't want that. So there's 2 reasons for this could happen. Your team takes too much damage before you're ready to go. But here wasn't really the case. I think you just overused it. You could be like at this much heal.
We already lost. Might as well play what you want.
I don't think we lost it then.
Have you seen this? Like,
Fcapulong?
It's the first round, man.
I mean, I'm not really taking that negativity.
Me either.
And, like that damage orb does nothing even if you get it correctly.
Roadhog's down. There's 2 picks. Let's go.
Nice.
And then
Very
you are going, you're playing tank. So I don't know. You get these like,
Fcapulong?
so, like you're super healy, which is
first
good.
round,
You're like
man.
heal, 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 heal,
And I'm not
and then right there, like something in your brain switched to I want to do damage. So you throw a damage orb,
Me either.
you heal up a little bit, but then like I think right there because then you're like damage. Your Orisa got hooked, and you had no reaction to it. What happens when someone gets hooked?
Me either.
What happens when someone gets hooked? Massive shotgun blast to the face. As a healer, as soon as someone gets hooked, you should be like, I need to heal that person. Like, that should be your reaction. But none from you. Your Orisa just took a shotgun blast to the face.
There's Roadhog.
And you walk past
there's
her,
two picks.
heal the Rhine shield,
Let's go.
and then you want to keep doing damage. When your team
Nice.
is probably low on health, your Orisa doesn't want to push forward because she just took a shotgun blast to the face and wants to get healed up before she pushes forward. Your Sigma probably doesn't want to push up because your Orisa doesn't want to push up.
Very
But
good.
you decide that I need to win this fight. I need to win this. Not let's my team win this. So yeah, like you just like there was a switch in your brain that something was like I want to win this. Not what can I do to help my team win this? And you went to 1v6 them basically and didn't think about how you can help your
Zen,
team.
kill that Zen.
Zen Zed, let's go.
Alright, that's all.
Now I'm gonna stay on this flank
My
side.
ult is ready.
Reaper's going, McCree's going far right.
I'm
McCree's
gonna
going
put,
far
I'm
right.
gonna put the shield right in the middle.
Your team won without
Kree's
you,
gonna be my
but think about it, like you were the main healer and died. Like that's
He's one. Oh,
huge.
we got-
That's gonna lose you more fights than it wins you.
He's dead.
Reinhardt, Reaper left side. Oh, not anymore.
So right now, like I want also to think about positioning. Yeah, using Orisa shield, but we learn like relying on shields isn't the best strategy. Your tanks are gonna apparently stay on point instead of pushing up, which is fine. But everyone should be knowing like where the tanks are. Your Reaper is doing his thing with the Lucio. Your McCree is on the flank here. It's all fine, but like you don't have to be standing in the middle here at this point to heal the people that are with the range healing already. So like you can't heal this guy, you can't do whatever is happening over there. So again, it's a small nitpick. I'm not going to say like this is like, oh my god, what a huge mistake, but you could be inside cubby and be using solid walls as cover instead of the Orisa shield, and you can still shoot your heal juice out of there and be safe. So you'd be looking like for the safest position to heal the people that you are going to heal. And right now you are not in it. You're in a relatively safe spot, but it's not the safest spot.
They would use this
Watch out for
now.
hook.
And like yeah, that like I said, if people are out of your range healing, throwing out the heal orb usually will not save them, and it just wastes your cooldown. And he was coming back to you anyway, so you could just spritz him a little bit and be
Watch out
fine.
for the hooks. Watch out for the hooks.
Ooh.
I got two in the pit. I got
No,
one
no,
in the
no.
pit.
You got two in the
Yeah,
pit.
dude.
That's two in the pit.
Nice,
Yep.
nice, nice. Alright. Ryan and Zen are the only ones left on the tree.
Pick on him.
And now, again, a switch flips in your head, and you're like, I need to do damage. I need to kill people, and you die because of it. I don't. What was. Like, aggression is fine, but relative to your team, you're just. Like, killing yourself. Like, right now, you're even. DPS gone. So, one DPS is gone from each team. You've lost your Lucio, so you don't have any other healing besides you, and they've lost a tank. Now, they're probably going to wait for respawns, because, you know, it's not favorable for them. It's just better to wait for respawns.
Ryan and Zen are the only ones left, and McCree.
And,
Pick
like,
on him.
They would use this now, by the way.
Good to know. I can. Wait, no, they don't. They don't have a
Shield
doom
down.
fist.
And besides all that, you have your mobility to your escape. So, like, if you're going to say, I don't want to do damage and then escape, I would say that's a stupid plan. But at least you live. But, like, I don't know. It was just dumb all over. You know, not to be too harsh, but, like, that's... You went to basically damage a shield, then the Zen away from your team. You're really exposed, and then you don't even use your ability to escape. I think there's just this thought in your head that you need to do damage. I need to do damage. I need to do damage, and you don't. You don't need to do damage. You need to be healing. You need to be safe. All right. The most important person on a team is the main healer. The main healer is the most important person on the team, followed closely by the main tank, and then everyone else can die. Like, I don't care about everyone else on a team really, but if my main healer and my main tank are alive, I think our chances to win the fight are.
Back up
Zen
now.
killed me.
Watch
The
out,
Doom
Brandon.
Fist
got
call was wrong. We
transcendence.
do not have a Doom Fist.
Shoes got transcendence. Watch for that.
Anna's going in middle to heals.
Oh, Reaper, they have Reaper.
Watch out, he's setting up for Shatter. He's gonna set up for Shatter.
Shit.
Come on, Reaper.
You got
Oh,
me.
he's got
Behind you.
solo.
Okay, so that call out, Reaper. One hand. Yes, you want to call that out because he was on the flank and he's something that could be dangerous. But how does your team know where the Reaper is? When you do a call out, it has to be person. It has to at least be, the hero, and the location. And it'd be nice to also know how much health they are. So like Reaper 1 back left or something like that. Even though he wasn't 1, so usually anything else would be okay. So just Reaper back left, Reaper flanking back left. So like how you yelling Reaper across the comms doesn't really give your team enough information. Like your Sigma clearly didn't know what that meant, and then your team just lost 3. So this ult is wasted. It's over. The fight's over. You've lost. Run away.
Alright, so that's 3 ult right
What's
there.
it?
Yeah,
4 ult.
Kills.
4 ults. Okay, that's fine.
That's really good for us.
And a hog ult too.
He used a Hog,
Hog, Moira,
Reaper.
Reaper.
Did they use Shatter?
No Shatter.
And Zen.
Wait, they did.
Like the Zen. You should be saying Zen. That was clearly across your screen. The Zen transing across your face. Your dead body.
I'm gonna use all
They
six
may
ults.
have.
They have trans in.
They have trans.
Nope.
Try
No,
and
we
draw
don't.
Are they peeking?
No, they're not. They're
They
playing
don't.
point.
They're trying to.
Try and draw that trans and I can use mine.
Reaper's so low.
Yep, Reaper.
So your team is trying to make a play based off of trans, which they do not have. So this is I don't know if you even noticed, but like you should be saying they don't have trans. You should be. That's what should be happening. But maybe you didn't see it, which means it's an awareness thing. Like
They're trying to.
Try and draw that trans and I can use mine.
oh,
Reaper's so
okay,
low.
whatever.
Yep, Reaper. Wraith, no Wraith. I'm gonna try to ult behind them.
Alright, they'll draw the trans.
Yeah.
Or target is in.
And then again, damage
Zen's all
orb
the way in
when
the
you
back.
really are not doing anything. The aim went nowhere, and you really need the heal orb. You really need it.
Reaper's down.
Reaper.
In fact,
This is more.
how many times do you use heal orb compared to damage orb? It's probably 80% damage, 20% heal in these 2 VODs so far. It's
I'm
just
gonna come in.
that's fine.
Reaper,
But-
you
Zen off the point, you guys. I'm keeping
When the
Zen way
fight-
off the point. Zen's coming back to point.
When the
He's
fight
on the
is
side.
going on, you really need to save your
Zen,
for
he's
heal.
just
Himself.
Yeah.
Hog's over there.
McCree,
McCree and Reinhardt's on the right side.
Alright, let's do this. We can.
Reinhardt has no fire strike. He just fire strike out of nowhere.
They're waiting for Zen. They're gonna push it on trans.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not pushing.
I still have my ult. I'll say
They're
first.
going back room. They're going back room. They're going back room.
Yep, they're going back room. Corner them and push them.
Again, no reaction to someone getting hog hooked.
Oh my
He probably
God,
dies
yeah.
anyway, but
Here.
a reaction would be nice.
Nice. Nice.
And again, you're going super DPS.
No.
McCree's low. McCree's low. McCree dead.
Reaper.
Two more.
And then by the time you heal, you're actually healing just the enemy Reaper.
Fuck.
Two more.
So like
No.
your ult will heal and damage
Yeah,
at the
they're
same
going back.
time. So would you have got knocked down by that shatter? Probably, but you would have been knocked down at a good position. So or like, you know, in the correct position. But
Corner them and push them.
no reaction to him. You're going, like, your team is getting pushed. Like, the fight is about to happen, and you are out of position. Like, besides not reacting to the Reaper getting hooked right there, what's going on with your main tank? How's that going? Do you know? You don't. You don't. No idea what's happening with your team, your tanks. You are responsible for their health. You're the most responsible. I mean, they're responsible for their health too, but you are also responsible, and you have no idea how that's going. You just throw damage at a hog that can heal up, like, for no reason. You already had ult, so now you want to use ult. Just fine. I don't mind it here. It's last fight, but so, like, right here is pretty good position. Your tanks can go forward. They can push them. Your Arista puts down shield there, so whatever. And then you get super aggressive. I don't know why. Like, you're like, I now need to touch them in the face. I don't know why. Like, do you want to hit everyone? But he could have, if he was better, he would have just shattered you. Like, this is the thing. Like, you survive this because everyone is bad. The Rhine shatters. You should be keeping track that he has shatter. You should not be in a way for him to shatter you while you're in your ult, because that's one of the best ways to stop a Moira ult is with shatter. He misses, gets your team saying no. So I'm assuming they're all shattered. So you could have positioned better so that even if your team gets shattered, you were not shattered and you could heal them. Now it looks like, you know, like you're like, oh yeah, I got 2 kills. 3 kills, I'm amazing.
McCree's low, McCree dead.
But now Reaper comes in and ults the people who were shattered behind you. And like, again, this is you playing solo, not as a team. Not with your team. Not thinking about your team or how you can help them. This is all me, selfish. And your team. Now, could you have done anything realistically? I don't know. Moira ult's not great at keeping people alive from a shattered Death Blossom. But my point is, you're the healer, and you should at least be in position to contribute to the healing for that.
Two more.
Oh,
Fuck, I got killed.
Fuck.
I will.
Can you touch?
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
gonna
camera,
be able to
but
touch.
he will stand close.
Reaper's got all. Oh, we blocked
Oh,
it.
nice.
Nice.
Sweet.
Good pick.
Use my shield.
Nice,
got
good
this.
2 picks.
Come back, you got number 10, we got numbers.
Shit. Only me.
Get this Ryan, one. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
There's a chance.
And heals. Oh! Thank you.
No pull. Good ult.
Zen's dead.
Nice.
Hog.
That's us.
Dead.
That's us.
Nice.
There we go.
Fucking A.
Ooh,
That's no
close.
loss.
Jesus Christ.
Good old.
Point, right? They were emoting.
We never do that.
I'm not a fan of Sigma on this map.
Good job. You got the arrest.
Yeah, Ryan.
Going Tracer.
That's fine.
I'm
Top
already
left.
twice.
Top left, everyone come
Reinhardt.
Top left.
Oh, I'm behind you guys.
Taxi if you can. Yeah, they're here.
Good position.
McCree down.
Ryan's right in position, guys. Ryan
You
here.
have
Ryan's
your
dead.
heal orb.
He's so low.
Use your heal
I'm
orb.
dead.
So heal. Wait. Okay. Why don't you use your heal
McCree
orb?
down.
Use damage orb to start off.
McCree down.
Okay. Right here,
Ryan,
your Ryan is
Ryan here.
getting tons of damage is being put into him. Like, even with your full heal, he went into critical. So your heal orb is often the combination healing is so necessary as Moira. Like throwing a heal orb and healing the same person. That's like heal per second. And it's probably wrong. I don't know the exact number, but it's a massive amount of healing that you can keep a Reinhardt alive, like through almost any damage.
He's so low.
I'm dead.
And it's a good way to conserve
Take
juice by using heal orb.
Touch
It's a
point.
good way to like, so you don't have to use as much juice. And then you just throw a damage orb.
Moira's pretty low.
And again, this is the only way you can say is you're selfish. You want to be the hero. You want to be the one that gets all the kills,
I'm dead.
that does all the healing, that does all the tanking. It's selfish. You're like
point.
look at you.
Moira's pretty low. Sorry, it's half.
So the sequence of events that happened for this position, where there's at the time 4 enemies. Luckily, you and Trace are able to take them out before they see you. But there's enemy, you, teammate, teammates are over here. Like you were here behind your team in a great position. You're trading out pretty well. You were getting the upper hand on them. You healed up your Rhine, and then you're like, no, I want to do something. I healed you guys, now it's my turn to do something. And you just like walk away from your team, jump down here, and try to like 1v4 them. Yeah, your Tracer's here, but she got blinks and she's getting the fuck out now because there's tons of people. She got her pick, and it's like, okay, now I'm leaving. You use your ability, but it doesn't look like you're moving anywhere. Yeah, you move to continue to stay in. So why did you use your fade? Because all these people could see you. So you fade over here where all these people can see you. You did nothing. You faded nowhere. You should have faded after, like, realizing you're in a bad position, faded to a good position, away. And now that Ryan came in and said, don't worry, Moira, I'll take their attention. And you're like, good. So I can do damage. Like your Ryan needed healing there. Does he survive? Probably not, because I haven't seen him put up a shield at all. He needed to... Well, I'm too far back. So, he needed your healing. He needed to put up a shield and stall for your team to come back and back you guys up. So, I mean, there's mistakes all around. Do you keep him alive? Probably not. But do you have the potential to keep him alive? Absolutely. If he puts a shield up, you can heal him and any damage that comes in, and then your team shows up. So even all these mistakes, there's still potential for you to come out on top. And like it's just all compounded to you being super selfish. And like the healing, like you heal the enemy team a lot. Doesn't actually heal them, but like you use it on them.
Break down.
Take that Reaper down.
Like if, as a healer, if you can see red and you don't see like the butt of your main tank, you're in a bad spot. You're in a bad position. You need to not be there.
Sorry, as well.
Nice.
Down. Reaper on me.
Come back.
Oh, you got me.
Ah, fucking Ryan.
Ryan's in there now. No, you guys are surrounded.
Yep.
It's okay, pull back. We held that really well.
Okay.
Do you want to get back in there, or do we want to wait?
I'm back.
Because I've got ult.
Almost there.
I'm at 70.
I'm gonna stick that Reinhardt if I can. Actually, let me
I
flank.
have
That damage orb, like, it's not going to kill anyone. You have your ult. You're about to push. You want to cut. Those are the orbs you want to cut out. You need to cut those out, and you do tons of them.
I'm flanking.
So, like
That shield's coming down, alright?
one of the big things I
Oh,
like
it's
to
like
say
a Moira.
is you shouldn't be looking to not do anything. You should want to not do anything. And by that, I mean, if you can win the game by not doing anything, that's how you want to win. So, obviously, that's not going to happen. The enemy team's going to do something that makes you have to do something. So, you want to be as efficient. So, it's an efficiency type of saying. Like, and you just throwing that orb doesn't get you anything, doesn't get you your ult, doesn't kill anyone, and it only leaves up an opportunity for the enemy team to do something that you should have had the orb to react to be efficient. And so it's not efficient. You should be looking to save your orbs for the moment that you need it. You should be looking to save your fade for the moment you need it. And so if you have your orb and it's on, some people with their cooldowns are like, oh, I have it up, I should use it. Why? What are you doing with it? You should have. If the enemy team's not doing anything, then you don't need to do anything. Like, if you're in control of point and the enemy team is not doing anything, you don't need to do anything.
She faded though, right?
She faded.
Yeah. I'm
Go
following
right,
Ryan.
go right, go right, go right. Go.
That's
Got
unfortunate.
stunned. Are you fucking serious?
That's just unfortunate. I wouldn't have expected a stun. He was on the left side,
I'm
and
dead.
then he got the bubble to like push forward and just stun. And then this guy comes in and it's whatever.
Got stunned. Are you fucking serious?
That's just unfortunate.
Oh shit!
But they used Moira ult, which they really didn't need to.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
So
We are there.
be
That
like,
Reaper was behind us.
Yeah.
The Reaper was behind us.
I must reflect.
Alright, I got my ult. It's fine.
I have ult.
I have ult.
Orisa, drop your ult when I'm about to ult. Initiate on your ult.
Who?
like again, you can say you're using that to get ult charge, but
Reaper right here, right side.
Guys,
now my Ryan is.
get him, Reaper.
No fade.
I distracted the supports. They're off to the side now.
Reaper's dead.
McCree left.
McCree's
McCree's
weak.
low.
McCree's half.
Nice. Push in.
Oh shit, I
Don't
knew.
use fade to chase people.
Just got me. I
Don't really chase people as Moira unless you're doing it as a team, like, or it's cleanup, or maybe basic cleanup, and you're fading into a hero where you don't need to use fade again. Like, so those are a lot of exceptions. So basically, don't use fade to engage someone. It's your escape. All mobility is 90% of the time used to run away from something rather to jump at something. With Winston, you want to land on someone from high ground and then jump away from them. As Moira, you want to use your movement to escape. So you chased down McCree, he pulled out High Noon, and then you didn't have your fade to run away. Now, a small nitpick I can also say is, you're here, you have shield. You can just turn around and walk away. You can probably escape this with just turning around and walking away, but you kind of get tunneled vision / overwhelmed by the situation. Like, fuck, I'm fucked. But you're actually not fucked. You can have shields. You don't have your mobility, but you can just turn around, walk around the corner, and he probably can't lock onto you fast enough. But
Oh shit, I knew.
you kind of get stuck on that wall for a little bit,
Just got me. I couldn't
and
get out. Fuck.
walking backwards, you move slower than walking forward.
Ooh, that's good.
Sorry.
Mars dead.
Ours.
Okay, now we can hold it.
We have Macraw's ult and Francis.
I'm getting.
They switched
I'm
to
gonna
jump
I'm gonna go stall.
They switched to jump trap.
They're Junkrat. That's
Rally.
good. Really good.
Save your ult.
They did rally. They probably.
So that's
have
you trying to do some
Zarya
Your
ult.
top.
They definitely have
ult
Zarya
tracking.
ult.
Top left.
That's good. Practice makes perfect. I haven't been really doing it myself,
Is
so
Zarya's out of position?
I don't know
Just poke
if you're
the back
doing
line
it,
out, distract
if
them.
you're correct or
That's what
not.
I'm
But you should see if you are correct or not.
They're not getting any effective damage on me.
Do they have like Zarya ult and stuff like that? That's
Heals. Thank you.
Oh, I put my shield up.
I mean that's a little bit on your tanks.
Fuck, the Zarya killed me.
There, Brian.
You're on the corner. Like I wouldn't be too upset. Like he just caught you a little bit in the sense like you're using this corner good enough. Yeah. The only thing
Thank you.
I would maybe do, like,
Oh, I put my shield up.
I would have faded away and then ulted onto my team to heal them up. Does your Rhine die in that instance of you fade and your cast time to ult? Maybe, but you die if you don't fade out of here. Yeah, so like you need to fade back and then ult to try to save your team. It would have been a hero play to try to do that. So I'm not too upset you didn't do it, but just kind of thing like it's in the essence your life is the most important on the team as the main healer. So save yourself, then save your team.
Fuck, the Zarya killed me.
There, Brian's down. Oh. That's 3 ults right there.
We must all make sacrifices in the name of science.
Down.
I'm
dead.
coming back.
Zarya's.
Muted.
Can you just... Nope.
Whew.
Okay, we might have a fight and a half. So I'm about to have my ult again.
I have my ult, so...
Do we just
MC
pop the defense?
66.
Fuck. Reaper behind,
to
Reaper
the right,
behind.
Reaper behind.
Alright, we gotta do something. Go left
We
side.
got touch now.
A little
Can I
early.
get them on the
Go,
pop?
go.
Trapped.
One second now.
Reaper on me.
I'm in.
Reaper dead.
Reaper down.
Zarya's low.
Going after the Junkrat.
More.
Junk's dead. Good work.
I mean,
Wait.
I don't
Waste the
blame you
chatter,
guys
waste the
if
chatter.
you wasted beat.
Fine,
Yeah,
fine.
beat was
Fine,
definitely not necessary either. But it was last fight. If you lose that, then you've lost the point. So it's just discipline of even in these situations. So that gold average team, I don't blame you guys for wasting those ults on like a do or die situation. So I wouldn't beat. So if I were you, I wouldn't beat myself up about it too much. But yeah, just so you know, just as a factual thing, Shatter and Beat were wasted.
We have Reaper's ult. Okay, we used 3 ults, wasted 1. So we're currently at 1 ult remaining.
Yeah. Also, like just
It's
as
alright,
a
it's
team
alright.
thing,
We're
don't
gonna
say
poke them.
we used 3 ults, wasted 1. Like, don't tell him he wasted his ult. He knows he wasted his ult. It's just a, you guys are friends. You guys are trying to be a team, and singling someone out for something is just, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't boost their morale, in game especially. Like if you're doing VOD reviews and stuff, and be like, all right, let's go over this, and in this fight, Ryan, you wasted your ult here. It's a little bit, in a VOD review setting, but in the game, don't do that. It doesn't build morale. It doesn't make people there's no good that can come from it. It's being toxic, and yeah, it sounds like everyone's taking it fine, but it has a. The only thing is bad things can come from that. All right, you're just tearing down your own team, and it's not good. So I don't like it as someone who's been a coach. I don't like hearing that.
Junk might have tire, so split when you hear it, or focus.
They're going
tire.
top left.
Left,
Oh,
I
left,
see
left.
him. I see him.
Reaper might have ult too.
Junk right on top bridge. Reaper coming in.
Okay, go in the corner.
Reaper's half. He's full.
Reaper above me.
There's the
Inside.
tire.
Ryan,
Tire.
countercharge. It's just, I know at these low ranks it never happens, but you can countercharge. Just a tip to your Ryan. if Orion charges at you, you charge back at him. You both fall down. He's going to be out of position. Your team is there to save you, heal you up, and you don't take this massive amount of damage. You can't. And then, like, I paused it with you healing a Junkrat tire.
He went after me.
I can stall it
I
for as long
mean,
as you want.
you used a bunch of ults. They're going to have ults come back. It would have been tough.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
There was a flaw in my approach.
You know, I mean,
Fuck, they trapped me.
that's how these things go. When they have so much time, and you guys have to use a ton of ults to take it in the last final second, they usually have ults to take it back. So, you know, I wouldn't, you know, like, it's okay, guys. Like, as a team, that's how this is going to happen. It would have been really impressive if you guys could hold that, because they're going to have tons of ults, and you have none.
Yeah, that Junkrat went directly after me for that ult.
Alright, we've got
It would
one.
have been either really impressive for you or really embarrassing for the enemy team if they really fucked that up. Like
Are we gonna capture it or are we gonna let it slip?
with
Snap back to
ults, with the ult
reality.
advantage, but
There
even
goes
like,
gravity.
a plat team can
There
take
goes
out a diamond
spaghetti.
team. You know, it's that. It's a huge advantage. You know, you get insta kills.
Oh, he's so mad, but he won't give up spaghetti.
Did you
Mom
say,
spaghetti.
did you say gravity?
Oh shit. One opportunity. Are we gonna capture it or are we going to let it slip?
1 second left. Shh.
Figure out a plan.
Let's figure out a plan.
Alright.
No, it's already too late, dude. It's already too late.
Just want to fight
Straight,
left or right straight to mine.
straight to me.
I'm going straight to me.
Straight to me.
It's I just.
All right.
I mean, if
Fair
you
enough.
everyone
That
knows
means
what's
I'm going
going
up
on,
first.
fine.
David John again.
But like you were at the front. If some massive damage comes in, if they have their own fair rockets or something, you're taking it in the face, and you don't want to. It's just a small nitpick. You should be always making sure you're behind your tank. Like,
That's perfect for
Yeah.
Moira. There you go.
Reaper by himself. Reaper no raid.
They're the same time as last time.
again, damage orb used in the middle of a fight. That's probably not going to do much. You're just tickling everything. Your team can easily make up that damage, but you need that heal.
Down for Ryan. He's low.
Break. She's white.
Both
Good.
things low. Both things low.
Reaper behind. Reaper no raid. Got it.
Alright, let's heal it, guys.
Oh man.
Reaper
Alright.
has the same game style, play style as me.
Aggressive.
Yeah, so I can
pull it.
counter that.
You know the
I can
weakness.
counter that.
Bet you weren't expecting that enemy team.
I'm watching left side.
You know, they switched to McCree now, by the way.
This
Yeah, I'm aware.
is my will.
Thank you for the call though.
Reaper's right up for
I see,
you,
I see.
and he's low.
This will heal you.
Are they coming bottom?
Bottom left, bottom left.
Oh, I got it.
Reaper, get this Reaper.
McCree's dead.
Whoa.
Okay,
Besides the aggressive and the bad fade, and then the orb just thrown to nowhere, like. I mean, all of that sequence was just bad. So everyone gets super loud here. I think everyone wants the McCree after,
Oh, I got it.
which is good. And like, as a healer, yes, you contribute to the damage,
Get this Reaper.
but you've gone past your tanks. Everything is dictated by how aggressive your tanks are. So even though there's a lot of voices saying go after that guy, your tanks are not. Your tanks are not doing it, which means you can't do it. To say they weren't doing it is wrong. They weren't doing it as aggressive as you are. So you've gone ahead of your shields, and then you fade, and I mean, gets caught here, and then throw an orb.
McCree's dead.
Some reason, I don't know. Like, you're just like, I have these abilities, use them, and just throw an orb out to space.
Zarya, push.
Who's on point? Zarya's on point.
Moira,
Zarya's on
Moira,
point.
Point.
Point, point, point.
Grab
Oh,
that,
I got
grab
knocked
that.
off point.
Help me out, help me out, help me out. Right
I
now,
was
right
trying to
now.
heal you, bro.
Oh, I'm dead.
Okay. Reset.
I'm getting it. No.
When faced with
Come back, come back. You're
Come
low.
back, come back, come back, come back, come back.
Come back.
On my way. On my way. Nope, I got killed.
This Reaper's gonna keep pushing us.
Thanks for the kill. I have ult. You tell me when you.
Like that damage orb. Again,
Just use your ult.
you have ult.
Macari's left.
You have ult. Your team is pushing in. What's more useful? Saving that for a chance when your team gets low, or to tickle the enemy team?
Macari left.
Just use your ult when you think it's better.
Macari's left.
Yeah, me and this Reaper thinks the same way.
Well, then what's he gonna do?
He's going to right side. Every time I go
So
right
like I
side, he's going
can't.
to take
Like,
right side.
usually I also judge to see
Alright,
how
what are we
well
gonna
you
do? Push
throw an
it,
orb.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've been throwing so many wrong orbs. Like it's doesn't even matter. Like you can't. Like the thought process of how you throw the orb is not even. The first step is like, one, I want to throw an orb. Why? Why do you want to throw an orb? Is it just because? Like, and most of yours should be heals, while they are the ones you do throw are damage when they should be.
Trying to flank
Heals.
on
Still right.
I'm
And
trying
then
to
like.
Right.
Why should I even talk about it? Because this is such a nitpicky thing in the sense of high, as in it's. I don't care if you do this. Like I don't care if you do this right now because there's so many things you have to work on. But just so you know, in case like you fix everything
I'm trying.
and now you look back at this and like, what else can I do? When you ult, you can throw an orb right before it, and then animation cancel with the ult. So you throw whatever orb you want. If you need more healing. If you want to do more damage, you throw a damage orb, and then you ult. So you're just missing out on more efficiency, more damage or healing. But again, there's so much more you need to work on. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like working on
Zarya's one.
Ryan
Zarya's
is
dead.
coming from behind.
front
Ryan is
line
behind you
when
guys.
you use your ult. You seem to do this all the time. Look, the enemy Moira, you can see. So she's doing this better because look how long the thing is. You're getting this much use of it. And it's into the wall, but you know, whatever, you're moving it, but like you're moving forward all the time when you use your ult. And it's so long, you should be looking to get as far back as possible and get large swaths of it. You can do heal and damage, so you can be healing your team, you could be back here healing your team and damaging it. So there was a Zarya here, your team was here, so Zarya's here, your team is here, you could be here with a long beam that's healing your team and killing the Zarya. But instead you moved forward and shoved it in her face, which one makes it at times harder to track, but it just also like you're missing out on tons of healing and probably damage too, because after that to switch to the other side of the pillar you have to
Ryan is
walk
behind you guys.
to the side of the pillar instead of just flicking the mouse or using control. I don't think I asked you what platform you use on, but Discord, no, you're a PC. Never mind. It's easy. Yeah, you're a PC. So like, just flick of the mouse. Boom, over here.
I'm the only one
Ryan
who
is
got
also dead.
Ryan dead.
So like, how much healing do you think you did
Oh, I'm dead.
in
That's
your
too
ult?
old to use.
And how much healing do you think you could have done with your ult? Again, it doesn't counter this. Lucio needs to counter that. But still, like this, there was still tons of damage that was to your team before even that. So even though it felt
Pull
like
back,
you were
pull back.
doing a lot,
Hey, man.
as Moira, you were doing lots of damage to people and stuff like that. You were missing out on half of what it does, is heal your team, and you're moving all over the place. And that.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah. Should I switch?
Is he countering you good?
No, not really. But I'm definitely keeping my berth way too far.
I have. Oh,
Heals a little bit, thank you. Distract them, Griff.
Reaper right.
Reaper's one, Reaper's.
No bubble. Want to push on right side.
One.
Moira low.
Oh!
Huge. Zarya.
Ryan.
Nice. Ryan.
Ryan's low. Ryan's so low. Come on, die, you fuck.
Cut.
Fuck, I'm dead. Reaper died too.
Ryan's dead.
More of the same. A little too aggressive. Getting ahead of your tanks. Using damage orb when you should be using heal orb. It's basically all the same. I think we get.
Come back.
And
Everyone fight point.
I think I'll stop it there. I did
go bottom left.
watch a little.
Yeah.
You know, I've watched what
I'm
they
just
were beforehand.
bombarding
They do
bottom
win
left.
because the enemy team just doesn't
Yep, Reaper's here.
regroup really effectively and just throw themselves at. They just throw themselves at his team. So, what do you need to really focus on first? The main thing is definitely this thing. This thing is so bad. You use damage orb way too much. You use it, just orb in general, way too much. But that's because you're just throwing it almost off cooldown as damage orb. Times to throw damage orb are when the fight is about to start. No, not about to start, but like at the beginning of a game, when the game is about to start, you can throw it at their doors. And it's because by the time they get to choke, you have it off cooldown. So if the fight's not about to start in the next 5 to 8 seconds, you can throw a damage orb. Clean up a fight. So let's say you've won the fight, and then you just want to kind of do damage to heal, to pick off some of the people, or do damage just randomly. It's fine, whatever. I don't care. But you throw it in the middle of the fight. You throw it when your team is at critical health. Damage orbs, that's what I'm talking about. And you just throw it randomly. And like I want to talk about throwing it so that it bounces in the right spot, but you do this so bad that I wouldn't even care about focusing on that right now. Just throwing the right orb at the right time is what you need to focus on. Then ult usage. Honestly, it's not been too bad. You did throw it away at one point, but it's not. Honestly, like out of tons of Moiras I've seen it, like this rank, it's not. It's better than most. It's the aggression with it, and aggression in general. You just get ahead of yourself. You walk past your shields. You just suddenly are super aggressive and not in sync with your tanks, and you, especially with your ult, like you just shove it in their face when you could be back still doing the same damage while also healing your team, and you're in a safer position. So the best way to your playstyle, or the problem with you, is you're selfish, and you aren't thinking about how do I help my team win. You're thinking, how do I win this game? And so you're trying to do everything. You're trying to do the damage. You're trying to be at the front line. And it's all at the sacrifice of your healing, which is what your job is healing. And you're trying to do things that you're ineffective at, like damage. Moira does damage, but she's not good at damage. And it's an important part of her kit to do damage because she needs to heal, and that's how she gets ult charge too. But it is not killing damage. She's not a killer. So when things are going, and that's killing is what Overwatch is. Time to kill, who's up, who's down, how many kills have you gotten this fight, in a sense, like, how are we up? Because if you kill someone, they're out of the fight, and it's easier for you to win. So unless you're doing killing damage, it's almost irrelevant. The only thing you're doing is getting ult charged so you can get to your killing damage. And Moira doesn't really have killing damage, so she shouldn't be looking to do tons of damage. So yeah, I'd be positioning myself behind my tanks. You should always just keep asking yourself during these games, where's my main tank? Where is my main tank? Where's my main tank? I want you to be really associated with their butt. You know, I want you, because that's where you should most likely be. Like, you know, again, there's exceptions to every rule, but right now you are not even following the rule to begin with, and you're just not finding the exceptions because you need to know the rule, and you need to be behind your main tank healing and not chasing after any DPS, which you didn't really do, but you threw orbs after them at times, or healed a wall because you saw critical and didn't realize that's a wall there. So yeah, so just pulling back your aggression to match your tanks is what you need to do. You need to keep your position better. Your heal management, your heal juice management as Moira, I would say is good, but it's really hard to tell because you don't do a lot of healing. You don't. You do a lot of damage, so it keeps your heal meter high. So before we need to get you healing before we can tell if you're using heal management well. You're not running out, but that's because you're not using it. Like, you run out a couple times, but you're not really using it. So I can't say if you're really mismanaging it. You've been spritzing at times, but I don't know if that's just because you're like, here's a little healing, now I'm going back to damage. When it's really like, I'm spritzing because I don't want to use a lot of heal to save it for the big fight. After that, like, you know, there's other little nitpick stuff I probably said, but just in general, I would categorize your problem as being too selfish. You're just super, like, you need to be selfish in the sense you need to stay alive, you need to keep yourself alive, but you're selfish in the sense, I want to be the hero of my team, and I want to do all the damage, I want to do all the tanking, I want to do all the healing. Or really, like, and healing might be too boring for you. Like, you might be like, think it's too boring back there, just staying back and healing and keeping track of everything. And you want to be killing. So I don't know, I assume you probably came from other FPSs like Call of Duty or Halo, where everyone was just DPS, everyone was just shooting. But in Overwatch, that's not the case. You have to, everyone has their role, and that's why DPS is the most popular role, because that's what people know and that's what people like. Some people don't like healing, you know, because they don't find the enjoyment out of keeping track of their tanks and making sure that they're alive, managing their resources well and stuff like that, and people just want to kill. So you need to break that habit, and you need to stay in your role, stay in your lane, because when you are most effective at it. That's what the person you picked up is Moira. She's the most effective at healing in your team, and your DPS are the most effective at doing damage. So let them do the damage and you do the healing. So I hope that helps. I hope I didn't ramble too much on things, and good luck in your tournament.